Another day and another step closer to the Philadelphia Eagles' first preseason game of the year, but more importantly, another training camp practice in the books under the belt for Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to hear a little bit about Jalen Hurts continuing to dominate, continuing to get closer and closer to breaking a record. A Philadelphia Eagles record, I believe, of not throwing an interception in, a training camp. I mean, he is already dominating. He's about to be there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about a couple of the big standouts, including Johnny Wilson, as well as a couple of big-time defenders as well. Before we dive into the video and talk about all the news, the notes, the highlights, the observations of today's practice, I need you Eagles fans to do me a big favor and just go give a follow to all of the Eagles media members out there. Chris Franklin, Martin Frank, Elliott Shore-Parks. These guys are so amazing. They work so hard every single day to get the highlights out for us and kind of enable us to make these videos. Without them, these videos are not possible to make. So go give them a follow because I guarantee you will not regret it. With that being said, let's kind of dive into the video and talk about today's practice. Now, the players who were not practicing today, I always want to start off with the injuries. Oren Burks continuing to deal with the knee injury. Paris Campbell once again out with the groin injury, which is allowing a rookie to really step up with the first team. Mekhi Garner, who has a hamstring. Brandon Smith dealing with a concussion. And then Mekhi Becton has an illness. Seems like he was a little bit limited, as well as Josh Joby, Eli Ricks, and Tyler Steen, all limited in today's practice. Now, we had a lot of one-on-ones to start with the Eagles today, and let's just say AJ Brown was kind of tore up Darius Slay a little bit. He fell down, so that was kind of crazy to see. Is Darius Slay maybe declining a little bit? Probably not, but did have a really good route there for AJ Brown. Devontae Smith made a nasty catch over Quinyon Mitchell during one-on-ones as well. We also saw Mekhi Becton, Tyler Steen, Mekhi Becton, not Tyler Steen, at first right guard. Both players were limited, so obviously once we got the team portion, Mekhi Becton and Tyler Steen were not in there at all. Devontae Smith caught 2 passes versus Quinyon Mitchell. He had really good coverage on both for Quinyon, just really good catching catch radius by Devontae Smith. Jalen Carter was another big time standout. We talked a lot about Jordan Davis continuing to look really good throughout practice, but Jalen Carter is another guy looking to get better in another season, another year, getting acclimated, building chemistry with his teammates around him. Jalen Carter is probably in for a massive season. I believe he had 2 reps during one-on-ones and destroyed both of them. I think he had a swim move and then a power move on Max Sharping as well. We saw Tyler Hall get an interception during one-on-ones. The quarterback was Tanner McKee, so don't worry. Doesn't affect Jalen Hurts' record. We also saw Isaiah Rodgers, number 2 DB. Again, this is a guy who I believe 5 straight practices has been the number 1 DB across from Darius Slay. So that is some big-time news, a big-time steal that they acquired last season. We're still seeing Zach Bond getting starting reps alongside Devin White at linebacker. I believe that is almost every single day they've been starting linebackers for this team, so that is definitely something that is worth noting. Jordan Davis, again, making a big-time play, right? Talk a little bit about Jalen Carter, but then Jordan Davis screams into the backfield with a huge run stop on Saquan Barkley. Johnny Wilson, and here we go, man, the breakout. Johnny Wilson, dude. This dude, 6'6" rookie. Not only is his catch radius probably one of the best on the team, but also the route running ability. Guys, we're going to deep dive all into it in a second. Before we get into the 11-on-11s, the 7-on-7s, I need you guys to do me a big favor. Hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family, and we're going to be covering the Eagles not only throughout every single day of training camp, but also the preseason games. We're going to be live streaming those on my Twitch. If you want to follow and watch those games with me, you can find the link in the description below or Matty Dubs with 3 S's, whatever you want to do. But lastly, we're going to be breaking down film of almost every single Eagles game, offensively, defensive film, quarterback film, whatever it may be. We're going to keep you guys updated, so make sure you guys join the family. with that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video and talk about Johnny Wilson. Now, he looked really good in one-on-ones, had some really good routes, had some really good catches. Him and Devontae Smith were probably the biggest standouts from one-on-ones. Defensively, probably Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter were the biggest standouts. At the start of 11-on-11s, I mean, they were swarming. I mean, they were active today, had a couple of big-time sacks, a couple of big-time tackles for a loss in the backfield, so that was definitely fun to see. Man, I cannot wait to see Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter again this season. Oh my, dude, it's going to be really fun. It really is. So James Bradberry was getting some reps at safety with the first team today. Again, I feel like the one thing we know almost every single video is the depth that this team has, not only at cornerback with Darius Slay and Ringo and Quinyon Mitchell and Isaiah Rodgers, and then you have, you know, Cooper DeJean, who's going to come back soon, right? You have Zach McPherson, Eli Ricks, who had some really good or shown flashes from last season, right? But then you have the safety room with CJ Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Avonte Maddox, James Bradberry, Sidney Brown, who is currently on the PUP list, Josh Joby. I mean, you have so much talent in this secondary, which is crazy to see. They're just so many guys are just interchangeable at this point. So that's very cool. Quinyon Mitchell is running as the primary slot cornerback for them. Looks like Avonte Maddox is going to be transitioning into a safety role. I mean, he has been doing that for the past couple of weeks, but is becoming more and more, you know, solidified that that's probably what's going to happen. We also had a Sean Stevens pick 6 on Tanner McKee. Now, you know, what's interesting about this was Tanner McKee was starting to really make a name for himself to be that QB2. Kenny Pickett's kind of fallen down the depth chart a little bit, but with this pick by Sean Stevens at UDFA, who knows? Maybe it's going to be a big time, you know, camp battle, preseason battle between Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee. Let's see, what else do we have here? We do have, I mean, I think there was a really good play. I want to say another big play by Tanner McKee, actually getting a really nice throwdown. Actually, no, it was Jalen Hurts. Okay, so yeah, Jalen Hurts had a beautiful deep throw. I thought it was Tanner McKee, but no, Jalen Hurts, which makes sense. Jalen Hurts had a beautiful deep throw to Johnny Wilson in 11-on-11s. Again, was getting first team reps, which was huge. Do you guys think Johnny Wilson is going to be someone that starts to really, you know, solidify playing time for the regular season? Or do you think he's a guy that's, you know, going to look good in training camp preseason, but, you know, not get too many reps during the regular season? Let me know what you guys think about that. Nakobe Dean had a big play on Will Shipley in pass protection. He sacked Kenny Pickett, got right by Will Shipley, so take that as you wish. You know, Nakobe Dean has been someone that's been trying to fight his way up the depth chart here. Still has got a lot of work to do, but man, over the last couple of practices, he's definitely been doing some really good things, so I will say that. And then we got a little bit further into practice. We got to see some kick returning. We got Kenny Gainwell and Isaiah Rodgers, Will Shipley and John Ross, and then Britain Covey and Anais Smith as well. Zach Bond blew up a screen pass to Saquan Barkley, which was good to see. Zach Bond, again, getting those starting reps, so we want to see him start to stand out a little bit. We had a touchdown throw to Devontae Smith from Jalen Hurts. Pressure got there quickly, but he was able to get the ball out quickly as well. A touchdown to Johnny Wilson from Jalen Hurts in tight coverage by Ringo. Again, just Johnny Wilson is just so much bigger. We had CJ Gardner-Johnson doing a good job in team drills. James Bradberry, again, getting a lot of the first team reps alongside Gardner and Blankenship as well. We had another interception by Tanner McKee, or from Tanner McKee. Pass was off of Will Shipley's hands. Obviously, don't love to see that. Will Shipley didn't have the greatest practice. You know, bobbled one ball, forced an interception, and then had a bad pass pro rep as well. Jordan Davis continuing to show burst, getting into the backfield. But overall, today was a really good practice. Moro Ojomo, hopefully I said that right, he is continuing to stand out. Great physicality, and someone who the coaching staff is just really, really high on right now. So let me know what you guys think about today's practice. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next Eagles practice update, which should be very, very soon. Peace.